We are recording. Great. Okay. So I am Marissa. My name is Marissa, and I am a new Diamond leader. I just hit Diamond last month. I'm so excited that Lindsay included me in this amazing sharing event that she's doing all week long, to be able to just expand our businesses and get so many tips from so many different leaders. So really quick, a little bit about me. I started my Young Living journey 2 years ago this month. And so coming up, or I am in the anniversary month of my Young Living journey. And I've primarily built my business on social media. I've never done an in-person class. I have done everything on social media. In the beginning, I was doing classes on social media, and now I basically just build my business from my Instagram. I don't do anything else. So I know that there is a lot of buzz and everything around just building a business on social media. So that's what we're going to kind of focus on today for this power hour and just delve into. And a lot of you guys might be active on social media, or maybe you're looking to expand your network there. So I hope that this is helpful. To kick things off, we're just going to quickly just talk about some quick basics. And then I have 3 actionable things that we're going to work on for like 10 or 15-minute increments throughout the next hour. So I am excited. I've actually never done a power hour before. I don't do this with my team. So some of my team is on here now. And so it'll be new and fun for us to do too. So sharing versus selling is super, super important when you are talking about social media. We are constantly being bombarded with like all kinds of advertisements and sales and all these things when we're scrolling through our feed. And I tell my team all the time that it's imperative that you are sharing about a product and you're not trying to sell it. If people sniff that you're selling them something from 1 inch away, they're going to run. So be genuine. And when you're talking about something that you genuinely love, whether you use it, you eat it, you drink it, you roll it, like whatever it is, people are automatically going to be attracted to you. I love to liken it to thinking about the last time a friend told you about a pair of shoes or a shirt that she loves or a sweater that she loves, and you had to have it because they were just genuinely telling you how awesome it is, how soft it is, why it's comfortable, like all those things. So our Young Living products are exactly the same, you guys. And when we genuinely share and talk about them and why we love them and how we're using them, it's automatically going to attract people. So when you are sharing on social media, this is what you want to do. So a few tips on how to do that. Avoid salesy phrases. Don't say things like, order today, ask me how, DM me if you want to buy this. Those things are instant like red flags for the follower. They're just going to keep scrolling because they're like, oh God, she's trying to sell something. Keep going, keep going. How would you talk about something if you weren't making money off of it? Or how would you talk about something if you were sitting next to a girlfriend having a cup of coffee or meeting them for lunch? That's the exact way that you want to talk about your Young Living products on social media. So an example of this would be something like downing my shake this morning for the 20th day in a row because I just love that protein complete so much. And it makes the spinach not taste so bad and it goes down easy. Something like that is very relatable for the everyday person, and they're going to start to be seated with your Young Living products. The second thing is be personal and share your stories. People want to know why Thieves Cleaner rocks your world. They want to know why frankincense has impacted you and your skin and why it's glowing. They want to know why Thieves Cleaner, you have your kid walking around with a Thieves Cleaner spray bottle. They don't really want to know about all the scientific facts or the cross lines, upline, sisters, friends story about a product. They want to know you. Your friends are interested in you and in your life, and they want to know what's impacting you. So share those things and be personal with them. When you're creating your post, you want people to read it and say, oh, me too, and have some sort of relational kind of like connection there where they're like, oh, that is something that I could totally use, or I'm going through that same thing. Maybe this will benefit me. This is what's going to create trust and validity with you and your followers. They're going to trust you because they know you're not trying to just shill them a product. An example of this would be saying something like, oops, I burned the bacon this morning. Thank gosh I have purification to the rescue, and putting the drops into your diffuser or whatever. The next thing is to keep it simple. Example, why you love lemon or how you use lemon. Not where it's grown, distilled, harvested, how many monoterpenes it has, sesquiterpenes it has, like all of those other things. The everyday person is going to read that and be like overwhelmed and think that essential oils are complicated and think that you have to have all this scientific knowledge or fact knowledge or whatever just to use oils. We want every single person to be able to pick up this bottle of Stress Away and be able to use it. So what is going to make every single person be able to use this bottle? Something that's just simple, relatable, and the everyday person can understand. So while all of those things are great, I know if you're a green personality, you're like, no, these things are good. All of those things are great, but they're not really going to relate to that everyday reader and follower. And they're not going to be able to picture themselves using that oil or bottle or whatever. And then the last thing is be consistent. You have to be consistent, you guys, when you're on social media. It's not an option to post something one day and then go 2 or 3 weeks without posting something else. You have to show up every single day. When you truly use and love something, you're going to want to talk about it constantly. When you're truly using something day in and day out, it's going to be easy to just share about it. Something that I talked to my team about yesterday was when we have Young Living, which has such a wide range of products. We have oils, we have personal care, we have kids, pets, men's, women's, beauty, everything under the sun. We're basically using these products all day long because they apply to every area of our life. And the flip side, when you go to another MLM, they usually only have one product line. Think about the big ones right now that everyone's doing. Roden & Field skincare, Monet hair products. Like, you can't talk about hair products all day. You only shampoo your hair once a day, maybe once every 3 days or whatever. Like, it's not realistic to be talking about that. So it's very easy for people to feel sold to when they're constantly seeing someone talk about hair. But when you talk about Young Living, you have something that's going to be in every part of your day. Your morning routine, what your breakfast looks like, when your kids are throwing tantrums, when you're trying to calm down for sleep at night, when you are stressed out and you're using an oil or something. It literally applies to every area of our life. So to be consistent, you guys, when we're talking about Young Living, it is easy because we get to talk about everything and anything. And it's not just one product where we're going to sound like a broken record or people are going to turn us off really quickly. So share day in and day out. The person who only shares on select occasions is basically, you are screaming, buy this from me. Whereas the person who shares consistently is the one who's showing up for their people, who's creating trust with their followers, who's giving their followers something to actually absorb, and you're going to end up building a community that way. So consistency is so key. So now that you have a quick little bullet of a couple social media tips, we're going to delve into 3 different social media building exercises for this power hour, and they're going to be broken down into a couple different things. Like, I wanted to diversify it, so I wanted to give you guys a couple different things that you could be doing while you're sitting here working. The first one is we're all going to go and interact on our feeds with the people that we are following for the next 10-15 minutes or so. And basically, the reason why we're going to do this is when you're on social media, you guys, it should be an IPA for you. I like the saying, stop the scroll. We are not on social media to be scrolling through social media and just looking at people's pictures, their snow shoveling job that they did, their cat on the couch, like all those things like are great. But if we are just scrolling through and not doing anything or interacting, then it's a waste of our time. So let's utilize this time for the next 10 to 15 minutes to hop into our social media feeds and interact with the people that we are following or friends with. And this concept of stop the scroll is super key, because how many times do we do that every single day when we could be utilizing our social media positively and for our business? So when everyone pull out your phone, or maybe if you want to be on your computer, whatever works for you, and pick a platform. If you want to do Instagram or you want to do Facebook, it doesn't matter. Pick which one you want, or you could do both, maybe 5 minutes on one, 5 minutes on the other. And the goal here is to comment or interact with people who are not on your team already. So if someone is already on your team or is a cross-line friend or whatever, that's not an IPA because they're already on your team. You're not, there's nothing more to get them. Maybe if it's a new member and you're working on getting them on ER, you're going to want to interact with them. But someone who's been on your team for a year is not who you want to interact with right now. You want to drop like your name, if you will, to be at the top of people's minds when you are on social media. So pick a Facebook, pick Instagram, or maybe it's Instagram stories. If it's Instagram stories, then what you're going to want to do is watch a couple stories and then reply to those people's stories, like one reply. Make sure these are genuine. Make sure they're not overly annoying or flowery or sounding desperate, but just like genuinely commenting something. It doesn't have to be 4-sentence comment. It can be like a quick 5-letter phrase or 5-word phrase or whatever. So, okay, we're going to do that for the next like 10-15 minutes. If you have any questions, you can leave them over in the chat box, and I'm happy to cover them. But let's get to interacting with the people that are not on our teams, okay? If you just popped on, right now we are doing a activity for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and it is interacting with the people that are on our social media feeds, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, and it's people that are not on our teams. All right, I think we're rounding out about 10 minutes. Really quick before I move to the next thing, I wanted to give you guys one more tip for when you spend your time on social media and stopping the scroll. Another thing you can do is take a relevant hashtag like healthy living, natural living, maybe even like young living or something like that. But a hashtag where there's going to be people that are interested in living a wellness lifestyle, and scrolling through that hashtag and finding new accounts that are already not like a Young Living member, like so someone who's not already posting oils, but finding an account and finding those accounts within that hashtag that would be interested or really or kind of like have some sort of relation to what you're talking about. I would look for accounts that are active, and I would also look for accounts that have a decent amount of photos. So if you go to Instagram and you go to hashtags and you type in healthy living, you're going to see a ton of pictures that come up in that are tagged with that. And what you want to do is click on those pictures. It says there's 22.8 million posts with healthy living. That's a lot of posts. So you want to tap through those pictures and kind of see a post that I would say, like, if I'm looking at the feed here, a post that I would say, like, you might want to interact on is, like, this girl. Click on that. Oh, she is a small wellness and health blogger. Probably someone who'd be interested in oils at some point. Maybe start following her and start commenting on her stuff for the next, like, couple of months or whatever, or even weeks, and she's going to be exposed to your content on your feed. Another reason why it's super important to be consistent on your feed, because when you are kind of sourcing through all of that, those accounts, when you're like, I shouldn't say sourcing, I should say seeding. When you're seeding on all those accounts with like the comments that you're doing, if people tap on your profile and they go over there and they see nothing about oils, then there's no way they're going to know that you have anything to do with oils or can add any value to them. So it's important to be consistent and to have those pictures like in the top part of your feed or grid, and same thing with stories. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, it might be out of the comfort zone for some of you guys, but speaking of stories, we're going to record some Instagram stories for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. So if you've never done this before, guess what? It's okay. Don't be scared. It's actually really easy. So we're going to hop on Instagram stories, or maybe if you want to do this on like a Facebook live or a Facebook video or something, but let's kind of get rid of the mindset that everything that we do has to be so calculated or planned or like an online class that people have to be going to. Let's hop on our feeds and just talk about what we're doing in that moment. So today I'm going to unbox the starter kit on my Instagram feed, and that takes literally like 2 minutes to do. Maybe you don't want to do something as like big or whatever as that, but so grab an oil or two that are near you or that you use this morning and hop on your feed, on your Facebook feed, do a quick Facebook Live, or hop on your Instagram stories and share about this. So when we talk about being consistent on our feeds, you guys, it includes showing up and showing our face. People want to see your face. They don't just want to see bottles of oil sitting on a counter or on a table or whatever. They're following or friends with you because they like you and they want to know about you. So show your face and share what you're doing. A couple ideas of things you can share are go make a ninja mocktail really quick. Like put your phone in front of you or in your kitchen or whatever and show people how you drink your ninja and talk about why you drink it. Another thing would be like, what's your oil morning routine? I use like 5 to 10 different oil products in the morning. And sometimes people just want to know, like, is she actually using EndoFlex? Yeah, I use it every single day. So talk about that kind of a routine, like a morning routine or whatever. A couple other ideas would be like, if you have a little pouch or bag in like your purse or your car or a diaper bag or whatever, pull those things out and show people that what you carry with you when you go places. I have tons of people that are interested in like the oils that I travel with, or what I'm bringing with me when I leave the house. So I show them that little pouch I have. That was like my most liked photo ever on my Instagram. And I unboxed the little baggie on my stories, and people were going berserk over it. So it doesn't have to be so complicated. Like, we have to like keep it simple. Remember, that was tip 4 that I gave. Keep it simple and just make it something that the everyday person can relate to in their own routine. So if Beverly asked, and Allison, does it have to be live, or can we record a video and post it? Should you record the same idea on Instagram story and on Facebook Live, or should they be different content? You can totally do the content the same or different. I don't really post on my Facebook. I'm not active there. I'm active on my Instagram. But if you're more active on your Facebook, then start on your Facebook. But I do want to encourage everyone to get active on Instagram stories, just in general. And then Allison, the new Instagram update actually allows you to just film a continuous video, so you don't have to do cut story. And it will automatically cut it for you, and you can save every individual video. So that's what I do, because it's way easier, and then it just uploads, and you don't have to have like the cut story logo and like all that on there. So just a tip there, like, you don't have to film things individually anymore. The way that they do stories is awesome. I think they let you do like 10 or something, which is like a minute, almost 2 minutes long. So I'm going to unbox that new starter kit that's up behind me right there and on my stories. And for the next like 10 minutes or so, if you have to get up from where we're sitting right now or whatever, go to some place in your house to like talk about something, or it might even be something as simple as filling up your diffuser. Hey guys, this is what I'm filling up my diffuser with today. I'm adding in grapefruit, tangerine, and wintergreen because it smells like candy hearts and it's Valentine's Day and I want to have something festive, and talk about that. It can be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be like this huge educational thing where you're talking about like oils 101. So keep it simple. Maybe share whatever you are going to go and talk about on your story or a live or whatever in the chat box, so it can give other people some ideas. And then let's huddle back here in about 10-15 minutes or so, and we'll cover the last thing. Okay? And as you guys are recording any of your videos, a quick tip here for you is once you record, like I just did like 10 slides and videos, I'm going back through and I'm adding in like text on the screen and then like cute little GIFs or GIFs or however you say it. Everyone says it different, or like an emoji or something. It just helps give people a little bit more interaction than just like stories for 10 slides. So I add in like text and whatnot on the screen, and sometimes I'll tell people what I'm talking about. So that means like rather than just tapping through, they might see like, oh, she's talking about stress today. I want to learn or hear about that. Or like I just did Valentine's ideas with your starter kit. And so people are going to be excited to hear about everything that I can talk about with on my feed with my starter kit for Valentine's, and they're going to be more apt to listen if you just seed little things within the text that you're adding onto. So don't be afraid to add in little things like that to your stories. Allie just asked a quick question about, do you have to download your stories to add text, or can you do that on a live story? So once you record it, I have this right here. You see how it has all of the little stories that I've recorded, like hands-free, using the new feature. And I'm just adding the text on top of it right here. And then we'll hit that button, send, and it'll upload it to my feed. So I'm not saving any of this to my phone. I'm just having it right here on Instagram before I hit publish to my story.
Okay, here. And then what, you want to do some...
All right, you guys, how did it go with sharing on your stories? Loving all of the ideas and different things you guys shared. Some of you did a diffuser blend. Some of you, somebody said something about their dog. I saw that before. Went and shared about Texas weather and Thieves cough drops. Great. All of these things are so good, you guys, because they relate to what people are doing or needing right now. I hopped on stories and talked about the starter kit and 5 ways that you can use the starter kit on Valentine's Day, and just got creative with the things that I was talking about. So I just uploaded all those stories. They're uploading now, and boom, I'm done. Share about the stuff I got for my kiddos shampoo. That's perfect. Great. All those things are awesome. Great ideas. Okay, so the last thing that we are going to do for social media is we're going to write out a post that is going to be educational and helpful and add value to our followers. So every time you guys put up a post, you want to have some type of something in the post that's going to add value or give people some type of value or fulfill their need in your post. So I'm going to actually share a link to a post I did yesterday over in the chat box. You guys can click on this. I did this post about frankincense. And basically what I did was I talked about frankincense and how it relates to me. And I was real with my journey with it. I said, this bottle of heaven, and I used a little emoji, and then I said, you guys, when I got my starter kit, I didn't open Frank for weeks. I let it sit there unused because I just didn't know what to do with it, and I thought it smelled like the ground. If you're like me and you still haven't cracked open this bottle, then keep reading. Fast forward to now, and I use this guy more times than I can count. Once I realized how incredible it is for wellness, immune support, grounding, our emotions, our skin, and more, I was like, what in the world was I waiting for? This bottle by itself is $99. You can get it in the starter kit with 11 more oils and a diffuser for $165. Hello, bargain. And then I just gave a few tips of how to use frankincense. Now, this post, you guys, relates to literally every person that could possibly be following you. Someone who is not an oil user and has never joined your team, someone who just got their kit and has no idea what to do with frankincense, or someone who is a seasoned oil user and who might be like, oh wow, I can use frankincense in those 3 other ways I didn't even realize. So this post adds value to every single person that you could possibly be reaching or talking to or whatever on your feeds. So what we're going to do right now, we're not going to take the pictures right now. That's a whole another ball game. But what I want you guys to do is think of one product of anything. It can be a product, an oil, whatever it is. Think of one product and write down or type out. Maybe you want to do it in the notes folder of your phone or something so you have it. But type out a post that is going to add value to somebody and help people when you post it. And then later today, take a photo or some type of photo for that product and then post it. What you don't want to do is just say, this is a good diffuser blend, period, and have a picture of your diffuser with 3 oils. That doesn't add value to anyone because it's not telling them how many drops they should put in their diffuser, why you're using those oils together, why you like the smell. Create an atmosphere or some type of content in your post that people are going to be like, ooh, I really need to go diffuse that because da-da-da. So if you're diffusing that Candy Hearts diffuser blend today that everyone else is, create this nostalgic kind of vibe in what you're talking about and saying, this reminds me of when I used to, bake cookies growing up and have icing on the cake, and I'm so excited to do, or icing on the cookies, and can't wait to do that with my kiddos today with this diffusing in the background or something. And it's going to help that mom that's following you be like, oh wow, oils are super easy and they can have like fun smells or scents for my kids to get involved in and do and help me to put them in the diffuser or whatever. So pick a product or pick an oil or whatever and type out a post that you are going to share later today on your feeds. And it can be anything you want. All right, you guys. Everybody get at least one post done. The beauty of this, you guys, is that you don't have to have a photo done to write out content for posts ahead of time. So a quick tip here before we wrap up is maybe pull or write down like 5 products that you want to talk about on your feed for the week, and just write down or type out like what your ideas are for the actual post itself. And then another time, go through and take 15-20 minutes, like block your time 15-20 minutes and take all the photos that you would need for that post. I normally will bulk shoot pictures for my social media, and I'll take like 15 minutes to a half an hour and just shoot a ton of things so that I have them on my camera roll ready to go and use for when I want to post something, so that if I'm on the go or I just don't have time to shoot some pictures that day, they're already on my phone, easy access, and I can just pop something up. So I rarely do things in real time when it comes to social media. Okay. Any other random questions or things that you guys might be wondering? We have like a couple minutes, and I'm happy to like answer a few questions about social media if you guys have something specific. Thank you guys so much for hopping on and doing a social media power hour. I hope this was helpful and kind of gave you some tips and direction in working on growing your social media for your businesses. I'll wait a second and see if there's any questions that come in the chat. You're welcome. I'm glad that this was helpful. Oh, this is a really good question. People that are asking about photos of oils with the whole page being oils, and if you have a personal account and all of that. Okay, so really quickly, I'll give you guys one tip and then we'll close. I personally do not recommend making a separate oils account for the general everyday like person. If you're a social media influencer and you have a very focused following, and you can generate a quick following on social media with a separate account, then I would suggest that only in that case. Otherwise, use the feed that you have to pull in content and talk about your daily things. So if you're a mom with kids and you're constantly posting your family and you're at the park and you're doing this and that, then sprinkle oils in. A rule of thumb is that when someone opens their with their social media feed and you look at somebody's feed like this and you see those first 6 photos, if this is not an oil feed, then probably at least 2 of those photos should be talking or have something to do with oils. Even if it's not an oil picture, maybe it's a picture of your kids at the park, and in the caption or the content of that picture, you're talking about like how you use Thieves Hand Purifier, or how you like used Peace and Calming when you left the park because they were all crying because they didn't want to leave, or something like that. So you don't always have to post an oils photo to talk about oils. And you might have like mom friends. I know I'm talking like giving a lot of specific examples for moms, but I hope this is like still helpful. If you have mom friends that are following you, they're going to still read that content because they're going to be like, oh, I can totally relate, you know? So everything doesn't have to be a picture of oils. If you have a personal feed, you can still talk about oils in the caption, but use other things and sprinkle in other things. Like maybe it's like a coffee run in the morning that you're doing or whatever. You can share kind of everything. But I would make sure or have at least 2 photos in that first block of 6 that are oils, because you do want someone, if they're going to land on your page, to know something to do with oils, like that you're something to do with oils, and not have to scroll like, you know, that to be able to see the oils. And that way it's not overkill either, like you're sprinkling it in. Let me see if there was any other quick question there that I can cover. If you have people who see your stories and they aren't all oily, how do you connect with them if they haven't connected with you? I don't. I let them watch my story. I don't scroll through and look at who all the people are that are watching my story, mainly because I have a lot, like when you have thousands of followers, you have thousands of views on your story. So I don't scroll through thousands of people. But say you have 40 or 50, if you see people that are in your feed and your in your views, and they're viewing your stuff every day, then start interacting back with them. Comment on their posts, like, you know, comment on whatever they're doing, not in an obnoxious way, but just in like a way where you're interacting back with them, like indirectly, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, you guys. I hope this was helpful, and the recording will be up in the replay link that Lindsay has, so you guys can watch it or send it to your teams or whatever there for any tips, or if you want to like do a little power hour with them for like social media. But thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great day and keep rocking social media for your businesses. Have a good day, everybody.